if we were to attribute any skill to Jagmeet Singh, it would be his way of weaseling out of any ultimatum. Here he is again.
If they want to make any vote in Parliament that in any way impacts your rights, we're going to vote no. We're going to vote no. We tell that right now. Whether that vote is a confidence vote or not, whether that triggers an election or not, I'm telling Justin Trudeau and the Liberals right now, you're never going to count on us if you're going to take away the rights of workers. Never.
And their response was?
So today, I have invoked my authorities under the Canada Labour Code. Under Section 107 of the Code, I've directed the Canada Industrial Relations Board to order that all operations and duties at the ports resume, and to assist the parties in settling their collective agreements by imposing final and binding arbitration.
So does this mean we're going to an election? Now, this was Jagmeet Singh calling out Pierre Poilievre by posting this video that I just showed you there. Where are you at, Pierre, when you're in a fight, your friends show up, local 514 port workers have been locked out for demanding protections in the face of job losses. Big bosses will always choose profits. New Democrats will always choose workers. Solidarity. And then what? And then what? When you make this promise that it's going to be an election, if Trudeau does something about this, back to work legislation, where do we go? Well, Jagmeet's gone and run and hid. But let's get into the story. So for those that don't know, maybe you've been living under a rock, or they haven't been telling you much about this on the mainstream media anyway, but there have been strikes at the major ports in Canada, and this is a big deal. This is a really big deal. Lockout at Port of Montreal could be catastrophic for the economy, Port Authority says. And it's not just the Port of Montreal, it's also Vancouver ports. Port of Vancouver handles about $800 million a day in freight, while the Montreal terminals handle roughly half of that, totaling more than $1 billion, with a B, billion dollars in daily trade every single day. If you shut it down, that is massive to our economy. It would not be good. and this isn't something that would just have a short-term effect. This actually has quite a long-term effect if you think about it down the road when it comes to the confidence that the businesses around the world can have with our ports, and whether or not they should even rely on us in the first place. And this is laid out quite articulately on Global News.
So it's not affecting everybody right now, but it is eventually going to affect everybody. I mean, I think the idea from the union's point of view is they were going to have these sort of measured, no overtime, 1 day strike here, 1 day strike somewhere else. I think that was an effort to not shut down the ports completely so that the government wouldn't step in as they did with the railways and order them back to work. But although there still is a trickle of goods going through, this uncertainty is not good for the supply chain in general. You would never know what's going to happen next. You never are in a position to actually continue to ship your goods because someone may be going on strike somewhere. So the general situation is very poor for Canadian businesses and shippers. And I think ultimately it's very bad for Canada's reputation as a reputable trading partner, because other countries look at this and they say, I don't know, Canada is a good place to go. Every year there's some kind of problem with the shipping there. Maybe we'll go to a different port in a different country. And if that happens, they may decide not to come back, and that would really be detrimental to the Canadian economy.
You better believe it would be detrimental to the Canadian economy. And this is absolutely par for the course for what has been going on under Trudeau's government. I mean, what was it? Just in January, the British government walked away from the table of negotiations on a trade agreement because Canada wouldn't budge on dairy tariffs. Unbelievable. Yeah, we've got this dairy cartel that's holding us hostage, and Justin Trudeau won't let that go. It's unbelievable that on a world stage, we're looked down at as a petulant little child when it comes to trade negotiations. And that's, with Donald Trump coming in, we're going to see some a different sort of tale than we've seen in the past. Hopefully, we're rid of Trudeau by then, but will that be the case? Now, of course, Jagmeet Singh saying that he'll call no confidence.
And we want to send a message directly to Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. Don't interfere with this process.
Don't interfere.
Don't interfere. Don't get in the way. Don't get in the way.
So today, I have invoked my authorities under the Canada Labour Code.
So they got in the way. This is from Gov.exe. Is corrupt on X. Dear Jagmeet Singh, you're on the record saying that you'll call non-confidence if the Liberals use back-to-work legislation. Today, Stephen McKinnon invoked binding arbitration to force workers back on the job. So will Jagmeet call non-confidence or run and hide like last time? Well, so far, all we've seen is that they're running and they're hiding. Now, this is the reality of the situation. Union says it will challenge Ottawa's intervention in BC port work stoppages, which could prolong this whole thing even further. And this is not good news. This is not good news. As we just heard prior, this could have long-lasting effects on the Canadian economy and just trust in Canada in general. Why not just go to some of the US ports and then ship it on land to these places? This is not good for us whatsoever. But this is par for the course again for Jagmeet Singh when he's asked about propping up this government, and he just runs away.
Why prop up a government that you say Canadians are finished with? Why prop them up? If you say Canadians are really finished with this government, why would you vote in favor of them?
We are going to look at each vote. We're going to look at each motion and make a determination on each vote, on each motion, of what's in the interest of Canadians. Thanks so much, Mr.
Oh, I gotta go. Hey, everybody, I gotta get out of here. Great report from Rebel News here on X. But this is the reality of Jagmeet Singh. He gets out and he bolsters and he does his big show, but he's not really the guy, the champion of workers that he claims to be.
My friends, what they say, when the people united, the people united.
Unless, of course, Justin Trudeau says, yeah, we're going to defeat you. And that's really, at the end of the day, what it is. And people are losing confidence in Jagmeet Singh. Here's Dan Knight on X saying, let's get real about Jagmeet Singh, the self-proclaimed champion of the working class. This is the guy who spent the past year pandering or parading around as the voice of Canada's workers, cozying up to unions, preaching solidarity, and condemning corporate greed every chance he gets. But let's see where he is now that workers at the ports are being forced back on the job by Justin Trudeau's government. Singh's nowhere to be found. When push comes to shove, when workers actually have someone to stand up and fight for them, Singh is gone silent. Today, Trudeau's involvement invoked Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code, a move that smashes workers' rights to bargain on their own terms and handed the key to big business. This wasn't a plea for fairness. It was Trudeau picking sides. And which side did he pick? The side of billion-dollar corporations, foreign-owned conglomerates over the rights of Canadian workers. If Jagmeet Singh truly cared about workers, if he believed one word of his own speeches, he'd be calling for a vote of non-confidence. He'd be making it clear he wouldn't stand by a government that bulldozes labor rights in the name of corporate profit. But what's Singh doing instead? Absolutely nothing. Now, later on, he says the NDP, the so-called party of the workers, has become a sham, a hollow shell, and Singh is nothing more than an enabler, letting Trudeau sell out Canadian labor to billion-dollar foreign entities. So here we are. Singh's hypocrisy is laid bare, and Canadian workers are left out in the cold, paying the price for his lack of conviction. And well, the people united, they won't be defeated. And especially when the people get together, Jagmeet Singh will be defeated. This is a big reason why he's not calling for a non-confidence. This is his own riding, which would be his new riding once the next election comes. They've rezoned, but South Burnaby is his riding, federal riding. And look at this. The NDP are not even a contender in the next election. This is where Jagmeet Singh is. he's too broke to even put up a good fight in this next election. So yeah, of course, he wants to hang on to this government to being together and keep his job as an MP until, well, he's eligible for his pension, of course. And this is what everyone's been talking about. But this is how broke they are. Jagmeet Singh expensed $143,000 in the last financial quarter to his constituency office. This is pointed out by Alex Zoltan on X. However, the office is locked and the lights are off. Note on the door has a phone number, but no one answers it and voicemails are not returned. How and where is this money being spent? That is in just a financial quarter, by the way. This is where we're at with this guy. It's unbelievable. And we're all just being held hostage for his, what accounts to about $2.2 million pension. Yes, that's right. We're being held hostage in Canada by the leader of the NDP, who won't even win in the next election. This is where we're at. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Do you support these workers and their right to walk off the job? Do you say, hey, you got a pretty great deal compared to a lot of other Canadians, you maybe should get back to work? Or what do you think? Do you think it's fair that the government steps in, or do you think they should have negotiation themselves? Let me know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trekking.